Hello everyone again and welcome to this online certificate program part 2 of course 1.0 English Basics for Effective Communication. In part 1 we discussed nouns, pronouns and verbs in detail with their uses and areas of concern. Now the part 2 includes adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection and determiners. Let's start with adjectives. An adjective tells us more about noun or pronoun. It modifies a noun or pronoun. Adjectives are of much importance since they help in giving clearer idea. For example, there are chairs in this class. Look at the difference between first sentence and the second. There are 10 small blue plastic chairs in this class. So here we are getting very general idea. There are certain chairs in a specific class, but here we are getting more details about the chairs, which are 10 in number, small in size, blue in color and plastic in material in that particular class. Second, the house has rooms. Simple. But here the big orange colored house, adjectives, big orange colored, has spacious 3 rooms. So rooms spacious and they are 3 in number. The adjectives usually come before noun as in the above example, but they also can appear after a verb. For example, the food was hot and tasty. He is innocent. Now here the adjectives hot and tasty tell more about food, but they are coming after the verb. And here the adjective innocent is used for him and it is used after the verb. Now let me tell you that use of adjectives, proper use of adjectives makes a speaker to be effective, to be influencing, right, and a proficient user of English. Now it is said that the person who knows how to use adjectives is a more impressive person. That's why we should understand. Same with prepositions. Adjectives and prepositions, if we master, we definitely can make a very good impression. So talking about the types of adjectives, broadly there are 2 types, descriptive and determiners. Descriptive, big, small, so on, and determiners. Let us see. But they are divided in further types like these: descriptive, quantitative, demonstrative, possessive, interrogative and distributive. Descriptive adjectives, they are mostly used adjectives and they describe something or someone more, like beautiful, hungry, easy, tall, useful. A beautiful girl, hungry boy, easy course, tall tree, useful course. Quantitative, tell about number or quantity: little, few, 5, more, many, etc. Demonstrative, they point out noun or pronoun. And most common for demonstrative adjectives are this, that, these and those. So this and these are used for singular or plural things which are near to us, and that and those are used for the things which are far away from us, like this is a chair or these are the chairs if they are near to me, that is a chair if it is away, or that are the chairs if those are the chairs if they are away from me. Possessive, they show ownership or possession: my, his, their, your, theirs, etc. Interrogative, they ask questions to qualify a noun like what, which or whose, and they are always followed by noun: what reason, which book, whose car. Distributive, single out one of more things: each, one, or everyone, or either, neither, or any. They single out from more things: each one of you or every one of you, either you or they, neither, nor, or any. Facts about the adjectives. Using adjectives accurately makes one fluent speaker, as I told you earlier. Be careful while using er or est and more and most for appropriate comparison. The adjectives with one or two syllables take er or est. For example, big, bigger, biggest, easy, easier, easiest. The adjectives with more than two syllables take more and most, like confident, more confident, most confident. Right. So here big, bigger, biggest. We should not say more big, more bigger, or most biggest. We have a habit of saying like this: more bigger or most bigger. Both are wrong uses. Confident, confidenter, or confidentest, something like that. It is not also accepted in a formal English. That is not a correct usage. So what is the rule? When it is a one or two syllable word, it is er or est. When it is two or more syllables, they are most, more, and most. Now what is syllable? Syllable is a group of sound. When they are one or two, it takes er or est, like big, big, only two syllables, b and g. Easy, easy, there are two syllables. But here confident, confident, so there are four syllables. That's why we say more confident, most confident. So how to identify syllables? Usually there is a very easy way, like if there is one vowel, it is one syllable. If there are two vowels, two syllable. If there are number of vowels, define number of syllables. We will see in phonetics part more about this. The adjectives with two syllable ending with er, le, or ow can take both er, est as well as more and most, like clever, cleverer, cleverest, as well as more clever, most clever, simple, simpler, simplest, more simple, most simple. Because clever, the word is ending with er, simple with le. Some adjectives may have different forms, like good and well, they have better and best as their forms. Bad has worse and worst. Nowhere it is er or est, or nor more or most. Facts about the adjectives. Now, sometimes some of the adjectives are derived from verbs and they create confusion. Like the adverbs using the adjectives made from the verbs using ing, they are used to show cause or describe a person or object. And for example, confusing, interesting, amusing. And the adjective derived from a verb adding ed is used to show effect or describe feelings and attitude. For example, confused, interested, amused. So let us see now the proper usage of those confusing adjectives. As usual, in our own way of solving the exercise and understanding, as I told, we will do more and we will understand better. So let us do this exercise. Use appropriate adjectives and you will find the clues in given in the bracket. We have to use either ing or ed form of the words in bracket. The attendees of the webinar felt really ... because the expert's presentation was so ... I am ... to participate in this competition as there are many ... steps. All the students were ... to listen and ... story narrated by the teacher. So use confusing, confused, interesting, interested, amusing, amused, and be ready with your keys. If you are done, let us go ahead. If not, simply pause the video and come back, resume once you are ready with your answers. So the keys are: the attendees of the webinar felt really confused because the expert's presentation was so confusing. I am interested to participate in this competition as there are many interesting steps. All the students were amused to listen an amusing story narrated by the teacher. Now from adjectives, the most challenging part is order of adjectives. This may be somewhat challenging to you, but understanding it will definitely help you to improve your grammatical accuracy as well as English proficiency. Let us see now how, when there more or two adjectives come, how or what is the sequence. So for that, let us do this small task. Use the following adjectives in correct order as per your knowledge. Whatever you know, simply put them in the order, a proper order. Like, that kid has a German beautiful big new yellow plastic toy. So all these adjectives describe about the toy used for the noun toy. Use them in a proper sequence. All right, I hope you have got some response. So let us see. Now this is the appropriate correct order of adjectives. The kid has a beautiful big new yellow German plastic toy. So what are the rules? Let us see now. When there are multiple adjectives used before the noun, the following order should be maintained. First, determiners should come: my, his, her, that, or any number, or a and the. That's why a has come first here. Then opinion, beautiful or expensive. That's why it is beautiful. Size, big, small, little, large, short, or tall. So it is here big. Fourth should come quality, shining or imported. Next should come shape, round or oval. Next should come age, new, old or young. So here has come new. Seventh should come color. The adjective which describes color. So it is yellow here. Then eighth is origin of that particular, let us say, noun. So it is German here. Ninth, material used: wooden, plastic, silk. So plastic here. And the 10th should come use or purpose: sports or serving, cooking. Let us do exercise now. Having understood the correct order of adjectives, let us see if you can arrange these adjectives properly. Again, simply take pen and paper and write your answers. I have a ceramic blue large mug coffee. She uses a sandalwood perfume mild. He wears a leather Spanish purple jacket. The puppy has a white shiny tail long. We have expensive Italian sports red 4 cars. So just keeping this sequence in mind, rearrange the adjectives. You can pause the video and come up with your answers. Okay, I hope you have got. Let us see now. So here we go. I have a large blue ceramic coffee mug. The sequence is mentioned here, you can check. She uses a mild sandalwood perfume. We should not rearrange them. Like, she uses a sandalwood mild perfume. No, mild sandalwood perfume, because mild, it is quality, and sandalwood, it is the material. All right. He wears a purple Spanish leather jacket. The puppy has a long shiny white tail. We have 4 expensive red Italian sports cars. Okay, so though I have given you all those examples of the adjectives, and though they look challenging, the fact is it is unusual to have more than 3 adjectives in a row. So for a noun to describe, we should not use more than 3 adjectives. So here this is fine, this is also fine, this is also okay, but this one, we have 4 expensive red Italian sports cars, looks unusual. Same with this sentence. It is just for example I have taken. Using such a long sentence with adjectives more than 3 is unusual. Let us talk about the correct usage now. When the adjectives are used after the verb, commas and are used. The Japanese girl was beautiful, tall, fair and slim. Now the adjectives for that girl are used after the verb. That's why the commas and is used. Right. If I use them before the noun, definitely there will not be any comma, like beautiful, tall, fair, slim Japanese girl. Clear? Second, 2 adjectives of same category are connected by and. Like, I like the black and white shirt. Right? So as it has come after the verb like, you will say that let us add the commas. I like the black comma and the white shirt. No. If two adjectives of same category, here black and white, belong to color as a category, so we need not to use comma. We can connect them with and. If they come here also somewhere, if they are from same category, then we can use and in between instead of comma. The plus adjective construction suggests plural subjects. For example, the poor are always exploited. The young adopt technology easily. Here, the poor is used as a plural and the young is suggesting plural, the collective of young. So, the plus adjective defines this. Avoid comparison between incomparable variables. For example, the population of America is greater than Canada. So here what we are doing, we are comparing the population of America with Canada as country. So which is incorrect. So rather we should say the population of America is greater than that of Canada. So that of Canada is used for the population, like the population of America is greater than the population of Canada. Instead of that, we are using than that of Canada. This is the correct usage. Adverbs add meanings to a verb. Let us go to the next now. Adverbs. Adverbs add meanings to a verb, adjective and another adverb. Look at this now. They performed brilliantly. Verb plus adverb. Performed verb. Brilliantly adverb. The webinar was meticulously planned. Adverb plus verb. The webinar was very meticulously planned. Adverb very meticulously. Second adverb planned verb. They were really good friends. So adverb really, good adjective and noun friends. Most of the adverbs are formed by adding ly to adjectives like slowly, luckily, happily and so on. You can even see the rule, let us say, like when we are removing y and making adverb, then we add I and ly to that particular adjective. That's why it is luckily and happily. Some common adverbs don't take ly. Those common adverbs are late, hard, long, good, fast, far, short. So the adverbs are not lately, hardly, longly and so on. The types of adverbs now, they are divided in these types. Adverb of time, manner, place, frequency, certainty and degree. Adverb of time tells about time and answers the question when, like now, soon, yet, still. If the adverb is answering the question when, then it is adverb of time. Adverb of manner tells about manner or answers how, poorly, brilliantly or slowly. Right? For example, I will submit my assignment soon. You have written your assignment very poorly. Manner. Adverb of place tells about place and answers where. I had kept my assignments on the table. On the table. So here, there, inside, outside, on, etc. Adverb of frequency. Adverb of frequency tells about how frequently or answers how often, like always, usually, often, never, etc. Adverb of certainty or negation tells about certainty, how sure, like certainly, definitely, absolutely. Certainly, I'll submit the assignment as soon as you give me, and so on. Adverb of degree tells about degree, how much, quite, very, extremely, rather. Now, let us discuss about the facts and uses. Adverbs can appear in the beginning, in the middle, as well as at the end of a sentence. There are many rules, but you can master using adverbs only with experience and more practice. Like hopefully, we all will get out of this pandemic situation. So in the beginning of a sentence, adverb hopefully is used. I am still working on my grammar. In the middle, he has not arrived yet. At the end of the sentence. Place of an adverb is in sentences change meanings. Now suppose same adverb is used at different places in sentence or in different sentences, they change meaning. For example, you can submit your assignments now. So general permission, like now, you can submit your assignments now after a specific time. Now, if now is used in the beginning of a sentence, now you can submit your assignments. Maybe after doing some revision, 2-3 revisions are done, and then professor is saying now you can submit your assignments. You can submit now your assignments to a specific students from a group, like you can submit now your assignments. Maybe the student is given some punishment and has made to wait. So after some time the professor is saying you can submit now your assignments. Look at the second type of example. Clearly he did not answer the question. Here clearly adverb is used in the beginning of a sentence. It indicates he did not answer at all. But in the second sentence, he did not answer the question clearly. So here he tried but could not give clear answer. Fine, so let us do the exercise now and check our understanding about the adverbs. What you're supposed to do, rewrite the following sentences placing the adverbs correctly. So just you are supposed to replace the adverb in the sentence. He could sense the problem always. So where will you put this always? Almost he was dead in the accident. Where will you put this almost? She copied quickly the mail. Where will you put this quickly? So just pause and just replace or be ready with your answers. I hope you have got. Let us see now. So the proper places are like he could always sense the problem. He was almost dead in the accident and she copied the mail quickly. We should not use this in the other ways. Second exercise, fill in the blanks with the help of given adverbs. Here much, never, next and poorly. So here it goes. Fill in the blanks with the given adverbs. She ... eats meat. You can park your vehicle ... Let's meet ... week. The webinar was very ... delivered. All the attendees were ... bored. This is a bit simple. So the keys are: she never eats meat. You cannot park your vehicle here. Let's meet next week. The webinar was very poorly delivered. All the attendees were much bored. Areas of concern when using adverbs. First, the adverb quite can be used to convey both positive and negative ideas, but the adverb rather is normally used to convey a negative sense. So in case of use of quite and rather, these are the rules. Let us see the examples. Food was quite good. His logic is quite horrible. So for positive as well as negative, food was not quite good. It's okay. But rather is used to show only negative. For example, movie was rather boring. Boring is negative, right? Here, look at the other example. The college has rather good TNP cell. We have a habit of saying like this. Usually, when we are talking about something in addition, we use rather. Like college has so many facilities and you want to tell that it also has a good TNP cell. So we use the college has rather good TNP cell. So rather, no, it is not for positive. It is always used for negative. So here you should say the college has quite a good TNP cell. Still and yet. Still is used in both positive and negative statements, but yet is used mostly in negative statements. For example, are you still waiting for the reply? Yes, as I have not received it yet. Do not use already before an auxiliary verb. So the verb already, we should not use it before the auxiliary verb. For example, they already have failed. We have again this habit. They already have left. He already has gone. He already has come. We use that adverb already before the auxiliary. So correct use is they have left already. He has submitted the assignment already. He has gone already. Next, don't use also with negative verbs. For example, he also has not completed the assignment. We usually use this. He also has not submitted the assignment. She also has not done this work. They also have not come. So we should not use also with negative verbs, right? So in that case, the proper usage is he has not completed the assignment either. Let us go ahead and look at the prepositions. Very interesting part of speech, very confusing and very concerned part of speech for most of the speakers of English language. Sorry. So let us see the words used to connect nouns or pronouns to establish their relation with other parts of the sentences in space and time are known as prepositions. 7 of them in the top 20 most used words in English. Why the prepositions I said are so important? Because out of 20 most used English words, 7 are prepositions, and these 7 are of, for, in, on, to, as, and with. These are the 7 prepositions which come in top 20 most used English words. Need to be carefully used as they can change the meaning of a sentence. For example, visualize the following sentences. The cat is sitting on the car. Visualize. The cat is sitting in the car. The cat is sitting underneath the car. The cat is sitting beside the car. The cat is sitting behind the car. Now, if you would have visualized, you would have found that cat is jumping here and there because we are using different prepositions. Sometimes it is on the car, in the car, underneath the car, beside and behind. So these prepositions change the meaning of sentences. The types of prepositions, not limited to these, they are divided in 2 types: preposition of place or location, preposition of time and direction. So preposition of place and location, they specify place or the location: at, on, in, near, beside, over, under, etc. Time, specify time, again at, on, in, for, since, etc. Now here at, on and in, these are most again commonly used prepositions. They are used for location as well as time. For example, the lecture will start at 5 o'clock and I'll wait for you at the hotel, and so on. The cat is sitting on the car and these participants arrived in the venue on time, and so on. Rules about prepositions. There is only one rule, and that is a preposition is always followed by noun. Here noun includes noun, pronoun, noun phrase as well as gerund like swimming. Now, having said that a preposition is always followed by noun, how come a preposition is followed by a verb in the following sentences? I would like to go now. She used to sing. Can you guess how these twos have come before the verbs? Let me tell you now, here to is not the preposition here. It's a part of the infinitive. So it's a part of the verb go in its infinitive form, to go and to sing. So no need to worry about. Uses in, on or by for transport. By without a and the denotes means of transport. Okay, let us see the examples. We are going to Mumbai by train. It is not by the train, right? So we are going to Mumbai by train. It is describing a means of transport. If you say we are going to Mumbai by the train, then you may be talking about a specific train, say for example Mahalakshmi Express. He will come by air, not by the air. The salesman often comes on his bike, not by his bike nor in his bike. All the attendees were sitting in the venue. In time or on time, the simple rule is We were quite in time for the lecture. So it indicates when you are early, when you are before the scheduled time, we say in time, and when you are exactly on time, we use on time. We were on time for the lecture. By, until or till, the applications must reach the office by 30th of June, not later than the given. For that we use by. The college will not reopen until 31st May 2020. So not before the given time. So when we are giving a specific time, then we use until, and when we are saying not till that particular time, or you should not, or the things will not be accepted after a specific deadline, we use by. Don't come until I call you. Wait till I come back. So this is somewhat informal when we say till, but until is the common preposition used. Beside or besides, again more confusing. He resides beside a hotel, not besides. Besides college, he works part-time in the hotel beside his house. So here beside is a preposition meaning by the side of, whereas besides is a conjunction meaning apart from, in addition to, or along with. So here he resides beside, by the side of a hotel. Besides college, that is apart from or in addition to going to college, he works part-time in the hotel which is by the side of his house, beside his house. Since or for, this is again very confusing for many, but the simple tip is we use since when we are talking about exact point of time, and when we use for when we are talking about a period or a time or a duration. For example, we have been at home since 24th March due to lockdown. We are mentioning specific. But in the second, we have been at home for the last 2 months due to lockdown. Here period of time or duration is given. We should not say we have been at home since last 2 months. No, when you use since, there should come a specific mention of time, day, date or year. Before or in front of, again mostly confusing but very simple to understand. Students were waiting for the principal in front of the college gate. So in front of is used for non-living objects, like in front of the college gate as non-living object. But in the second, after some time, the principal was standing before all the students. So before is used for living beings. Here principal and students as they are living beings, before is used. So don't make mistake of using after some time the principal was standing in front of all the students, or students were waiting for the principal before the college gate. No. Above or over, this is also interesting. Now look at the examples. The river is flowing above the danger mark. So here higher than something defined. To show that we use above. They have built a bridge over the river, so indicates position. We cannot reverse that. They have built a bridge above the river, or the river is flowing over the danger mark. No, that these are the wrong usages. Below or under, again the dog is sitting quietly under the table. So when we use under, when it is covered by something, and when we use below, when it shows something less than usual. Today the temperature is below its usual level, not under usual level. Okay, the exercise for you now. Fill in the blanks with appropriate prepositions from the given list. Dot dot the picture, I can see a horse. Are you listening? Dot dot me. The woman's bag is dot dot the table. What are you doing? Dot dot the weekend. We have been studying English dot dot 2015. Be careful. We have been studying English dot dot last 5 years. I hope you will get correct here. The train passed dot dot 9 tunnels on the way to Mumbai. We walked the river looking for way to get it, but there was no bridge. They walked the building twice looking for the entrance. I hope you have got your answers. Let us see the keys now. For first, it is in the picture I can see a horse, not on the picture. Are you listening to me, not for me? Listening for me may be correct if you have assigned someone to listen on your behalf and make the notes in a particular lecture. So are you listening for me? Very good. Listen and make the notes. No, but here, are you listening to me in general? The woman's bag is under the table, right? It is not below the table, it is under the table. What are you doing at the weekend? Not in or on the weekend. We have been studying English since 2015, a specific year. And in the second, for last 5 years, duration. The train passed through 9 tunnels on the way to Mumbai through. We walked along the river looking for a way to get across it, but there was no bridge. And they walked around the building twice looking for the entrance. Let us see the next part of speech, conjunctions. Conjunctions join two or more words, phrases or clauses, sentences. For example, look at these sentences. I like cricket and football. 2 words. The pen must be on the table or in the bag. 2 phrases, like on the table is one phrase, in the bag is another phrase. We are on time, but the teacher was not available there. So here 2 different sentences are joined by the conjunction but. We are on time, different sentence. The teacher was not available there, different sentence. As joined by but, they become clauses and they are joined together. The most common conjunctions are and, but, or. They play very crucial role in sentence constructions, in like simple sentence, compound sentence and complex sentence. We will see in this course itself about the sentence formation and common errors. The types of conjunctions, they are divided in 3: coordinating conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions and correlative conjunctions. Coordinating, they describe equal importance: for, and, nor, but, or, yet and so. So these are the coordinating conjunctions in English language and they are known as fanboys. So each first letter of each conjunction is taken, F-A-N-B-O-Y-S, fanboys. So these are the coordinating conjunctions. Subordinating, they show dependency: when, unless, if, because. And correlative, they correlate and used in pairs. For example, as well as, either or, not only but also, etc. Let us see those types in details now. The coordinating conjunctions, the job of these coordinating conjunction is to join 2 words, phrases or dependent clauses, 2 dependent clauses which are parallel in structure, equal in importance. For example, again, these are these fanboys we have just talked. We went, look at the examples. We went to the theater and enjoyed the movie. We went to the theater but could not get tickets for the movie. We went to the theater for watching movie. So independent clauses are joined with these coordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions. A subordinating conjunction joins elements of an unparalleled sentence structure or unequal in importance, unequal sentences. These elements are usually a dependent clause and an independent clause. Most commonly used subordinating conjunctions are after, how, than, when, although, if, that, where, and so on, as much as, unless, because, provided, and so on. Look at the examples now. If it rains today, we won't go for morning walk. So we won't go for morning walk can have some meaning. But if it rains today, in isolation does not make any meaning. That's why this is a dependent clause on this independent clause. So if is subordinating conjunction. This is a subordinating clause. We will see more about those clauses in sentences when we are looking the types of sentences. He called me when I was at work. So when I was at work is a subordinating clause which is dependent on he called me. The types: correlative conjunctions. A correlative conjunction uses a set of words in a parallel sentence structure to show a contrast or to compare the equal parts of a sentence. The words of correlative conjunctions have a special connection between them. The correlative conjunctions are not only but also, either or, neither nor, both and, not but, whether or. Examples: neither he nor his brother can play well. He not only completed the course but also earned certificates. This restaurant serves both Indian and Italian food. Next, even if and even though. Let us look at the usage of conjunctions now, the proper usage of conjunctions. Even though the movie is boring, people will go and watch. Here the movie is boring, but still people will go and watch because the movie is of their favorite, let us say, actor or actresses. In second sentence, even if the movie is boring, people will go and watch it. So in first, even though, in first sentence, movie is boring is final, it is known. But in second, even if the movie is boring, people will go and watch. It is not sure whether movie is boring or not, but people will definitely go and watch that particular movie. Because and so for showing reasons. The simple rule is, let us see the examples first. I had to take back the charge from her because she was very casual. She was very casual, so I had to take back the charge from her. So the rule is effect and cause. If you talk about effect first, then you use because to show cause. If you use cause and effect, then you use so. So here effect is I had to take back the charge from her. Why? Because she was very casual. Here what is the cause? She was very casual, so I have to, the effect is, so I had to take this decision to take back the charge from her. In spite of and despite, the rule is simple. In spite of injury, he played well in the finals. Despite injury, he played well in the finals. So we should not use despite of. Let us do this exercise now. Pause the video and just try to solve these in your notebook. Only answers very good are also fine. You have to just simply use of the alternatives. Dot dot, he eats, he tries to choose healthy food. I was ill, dot dot, I didn't go to work, so because. I'm very tired, dot dot, I have been working all day. We all will get there, dot dot, you do. I wanted to join you for the movie, dot dot, my father did not allow to. He talks to me, dot dot, he were my boss. Let us see the keys now, the answers. When he eats, he tries to choose healthy foods, not if he eats. Alright, so I was ill, so I didn't go to work. So the cause and effect. I am very tired because I have been working all the day. So effect and then cause, so because. We will get there as soon as you do. I wanted to join you for the movie, but my father did not allow. He talks to me as if he were my boss. He talks to me. Why as if? Because he were, it is the assumption is made. That is why as if. Let us move further and see the second last part of speech, interjections. Actually, interjection is a big name for a little word. They are, or the interjection is a kind of exclamation with pause inserted into a sentence to express emotions. These are some of the examples of interjections like aha, alas, brow, yes, oh God, my goodness, well, wow. They are used usually in speaking, also in informal and fiction writing and plays or dramas, and they are usually not used in formal speeches or formal writing. They do not have any grammatical role or function, and they often stand alone, unconnected to a sentence. If we remove them, it does not make much difference to a sentence. They are highly context sensitive. Their usage and their meaning depends on the context of the speech. It is sometimes followed by an exclamation mark when written. So sometimes is highlighted because it may not also be followed by the exclamation. We have knowledge that interjections are always followed by exclamation mark. No, there are certain interjections which are not followed by exclamation mark. They are also known as hesitation devices. Let us see those now. Some of the facts: they are used to express a certain mood, emotions and feeling with emphasis. For example, wow, that's an amazing fact. Some interjections are used to get someone's attention, like, hey, where are you from? Hey, where are you going? Some of the interjections interrupt a conversation or a thought or hold someone's attention for a moment, and they are known as hesitation devices or fillers. Like such are extremely common in English. So such hesitation devices or interjections are common in English. They are just sounds, they are not the words, and they do not make any sense in the sentence. Then why are they used? They are used when people don't know what to say or to indicate that they are thinking about what to say. Look at this example now. Just do one thing. Come here. No, when I use this, the filler, it is either I'm not getting what to say or I'm thinking what to say. Using much such fillers is considered as lack of public speaking skills. Now, even though those fillers are used most of the time, more such fillers are used, more it indicates that you are lacking public speaking skills. So this is the classification of these interjections. Based on their purpose, they are divided in these types with examples I have given here. Greetings, hi, how is your health now? Hello, how are you? Hey, where are you going? For showing joy, hooray, wow. For approval or the achievement, bravo, brilliant, well done. Surprise, what? Hey, ah, oh, oh, what a hot and humid day. For grief and pain, ah, ouch, alas, what a pity. For grabbing attention, hush, someone is coming. We use this, hush, someone is coming for attention. Behold, the garden is so beautiful, for grabbing the attention of someone. Hesitance, you come here please. I don't know the answer, or I'm not sure, and so on. The last part of speech, determiners. This is something new, for maybe new to you. Let us discuss them. The ninth part of speech, mostly they include other determiners, but new are a, an, and the, which are also known as articles. They usually are considered as adjectives as they modify noun or pronoun. The types, look at these now. The determiners: articles, demonstrative, possessive and quantifiers. Articles a and the, demonstrative determiners which demonstrate this, that, these, those. Possessive, my, his, our, their. Quantifiers, one, all, each, many and some. Now let us see the uses. Indefinite articles and definite articles. I hope you are aware about these two categories again. Indefinite articles, a and an. Common nouns always need indefinite article in their singular forms, like he reads a story, he reads an unusual story. So here story, common noun, that's why a story, and an unusual story. A is used before consonant sound, and an is used before a vowel sound. There are some must known facts, must known uses. Let us see now. Look at these now, uses of a and an as indefinite articles. A university, a union, a useful book, etc. A $1 note, a one-man army. Here an MA, a BA, an LLB, a BSc, an honest person, an hour ago. Now how? Like when we are using these indefinite articles, we have to pay attention to the sound of the noun or the next word. So here the letter is U, but the sound is Y. Here the letter is M, but the sound is M. Right. So we have been told that there are five vowels in English, A, E, I, O, U, but that is not true. These are the letters which show most of the vowels in English. Actually, there are 20 vowels, 12 pure vowels, and 8 diphthongs. We will see about them in phonetics. So when we are using a and an, we have to look at the sound, not the letter. Here, see, an honest person. Though the letter is H, though it is a consonant, the sound begins with a vowel. So it is O, honest, not honest. As well as an hour ago. It is hour, not hour. Sometimes indefinite articles are used to refer the number one, each, or per. For example, I earned 1,000 rupees in that job. 1,000 to say 1,000, to tell 1,000 rupees, a is used. I have a car. In number I am saying I have one car. Instead of that I am saying I have a car. It goes 50 miles an hour. So per hour it is showed. Articles, definite articles, you know, definite article is one, that is the. Let us see its uses and the facts of the article the. The is used to indicate a particular person or thing in the case of common nouns. Proper nouns generally do not take an article. For example, the man is running, stealing the bike. Here, a particular man and a particular bike is referred. That's why the man and the bike. It is used for repetitive reference of a common noun in the same context. For example, I saw an elegant car. A beautiful lady was driving the car. The same car which is referred in the first sentence. Sometimes the is used to generalize a group or whole class. Like the dog is a faithful animal. It refers to the whole species of dog. To particularize a non-count noun, the is required before it. To particularize, to specify. For example, please return the money I lent you last year. So you are particularizing money, the specific money which you had lent to your friend. So please return the money I lent you last year. The is mandatory before a thing which is only one of a kind in universe. The moon is shining tonight. The sun, the earth, and so on. Article the must come before. Now there are certain categories, certain things before which the article the must come. We cannot use them without using article the. So in front of names of oceans, gulfs, seas, and rivers like the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Persian Gulf, the Ganga, the Yamuna, etc. Names of mountain ranges, the Himalayas, the Western Ghats, Sahyadri known for, etc. So names of mountain ranges, not a single mountain. If it is mountain ranges, then we use the in front of them. Next, names of a group of islands, the West Indies, the Andamans, etc. Names of holy books, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the Quran, etc. Names of newspapers, the Times of India, the Indian Express, and so on. Names of countries with United States or islands. The United States of America. That's why we say the United States of America or the USA, the UK, the United Kingdom, the United Arab Emirates or the UAE, the Philippines. Now there are again certain exceptions, certain let us say nouns in front of which we are not supposed to use any article, neither definite nor indefinite. Look at the examples now. These are the names of continents in front of which no article comes. Names of continents like Asia, Europe, Australia, Africa, South Africa, North America, Antarctica. So these are the continents, and we should not use any article, Asia or an Asia, an Europe, the Europe. No, they are independent. Names of countries, they do not take any article, nor even the. So India, England, France, etc. Names of states, cities or towns, Maharashtra, Kolhapur, etc. Names of streets like Mahatma Gandhi Road, not the Mahatma Gandhi Road. Names of single mountains, for example, Mount Everest. Mount Everest is in the Himalayas. Names of languages, Spanish, Russian, English, no any article. But if you use the before them, then these nouns, they refer to the population of those languages. For example, the Spanish refers to Spanish population, the Russian, the English population. Names of sports, cricket, football, basketball, etc. Names of discipline, subject of studies, English, history, computer science, geography, etc. Now let us do the last exercise of part 2 of the first video on the first course itself. So the same thing, just pause the video and note down your answers in your notebook or on the paper. Be ready with your answers. I saw ... movie last night. You have to use the article a and the or no article. They are staying at ... hotel. I enjoyed ... DVD you gave me for my birthday. I do not like ... basketball. That girl ... that is ... girl I told you about. I read ... amazing story yesterday. My brother does not eat chicken. Love is such beautiful thing. I was in Japanese restaurant. Restaurant served good food. Can you play guitar? Mount Everest is in Himalayas. That was important day in history. Which is longest river in world? Is it Amazon or Nile? I am poor in geography. I need egg, potato and milk for this recipe. Is that you or O? I am unable to read it. I hope you have got some of the responses. Let us tally them. I saw a movie last night. You are not making reference to a specific one. So I saw a movie last night. If you are referring to a specific which your friend is mentioning, then you can say, yes, I saw the movie last night. They are staying at a hotel, not a specific. I enjoyed the DVD you gave me for my birthday. Here you are referring a specific DVD given on your birthday by a friend. That's why it is the. I do not like basketball. No article because it is a name of game. That is the girl I told you about. You are referring specifically. I read an amazing story yesterday. My brother does not eat chicken. Love is such a beautiful thing. No article before love because it is abstract noun. I was in a Japanese restaurant. The restaurant served good food. So you are referring a restaurant. A type is Japanese restaurant. And in second you are referring the same restaurant. That's why you are using the restaurant. Can you play the guitar? So the instruments always take the before them. Mount Everest is in the Himalayas. That was an important day in history, not in the history. Which is the longest river in the world? Is it the Amazon or the Nile? I am poor in geography. Everywhere the is used because we are talking about the specific and one, like which is the longest river in the world, the Amazon or the Nile. I need an egg, a potato and milk for this recipe. And is that a U or an O? I'm unable to read it. So it is not like is that U or O, I'm not unable to read it. You are referring them as independent letters, so you have to use a and an. So that is the end of session 1 of course 1. Thank you very much for attending and giving such a huge response. I know the videos may be longer, but definitely if you go through these 2 videos, you will get much information about part of speech. And if you have solved the exercises in between, definitely I'm sure you would have got some very important unknown facts for your further usage. Please subscribe to my channel for further updates. Thank you again. So these are the list of books, websites and YouTube channels which I referred for preparing these videos. You can even go to these websites for more practice and visit these YouTube channels to get more about the grammar of English. Thank you very much again.